Have you ever found yourself replaying a moment in your mind again and again? Something small that happened days, months, or even years ago, and you just can't seem to let it go? Today's story is about that very human struggle, the weight we carry in our minds, and how one old Chinese monk taught his disciple a timeless lesson on peace, compassion, and detachment. This is a story you'll remember long after it ends. So, sit back, take a deep breath, and let's begin. It was a cool morning in the mist-covered mountains of ancient China. Two monks, one old and one young, were walking through the dense woods. The old monk walked slowly, every step full of grace. The young disciple followed behind, eager to learn, yet full of unspoken questions about life and discipline. As they moved, the old monk spoke softly. Peace, he said, is not found in silence or stillness. It is found in how gently you hold the world within you. The disciple nodded, though he didn't fully understand. He wanted to, but he was still young, still learning. After several hours, they came upon a small stream. The water was clear and sparkled in the sunlight that came through the trees. By the stream stood a young woman, beautiful, fragile and trembling. Her leg was injured and her clothes were wet and torn. Seeing the monks, she cried out, "Please, please help me. My village is across this stream, but I cannot walk." The disciple immediately froze. They were monks bound by strict vows of celibacy and purity. Touching a woman, even offering physical help, was forbidden. He waited for his master to say something, but to his utter shock, the old monk simply smiled, stepped forward, and without a word, lifted the woman gently on his shoulder. He crossed the stream carefully, every step steady. When they reached the other side, he carried her all the way to her small hut at the edge of the village. He placed her down, blessed her with kind words, and turned back toward the forest. The disciple stood silent, his heart racing with confusion. The two monks walked for hours in silence. The forest grew darker, the sound of cicadas filled the air. But the disciple couldn't focus. In his mind, he kept seeing the image of his master carrying the woman. He thought, how could he break the sacred rule? How could a monk who teaches discipline and purity do such a thing? Days passed. The thought didn't fade. It followed him into his prayers, into his dreams, even into his meditation. He wanted to ask, but each time he opened his mouth, he stopped himself. Weeks passed. The thought had now become a burden heavier than any stone. Finally, one evening, as they sat by a small campfire, the young monk could no longer contain himself. "Master," he said softly, his voice trembling, "I must ask you something that has been troubling me." The old monk looked at him with kind eyes. "What is it, my child?" "Back by the stream, you carried the woman. You've always taught us to avoid touching women, to remain pure, to stay detached. Yet you carried her in your arms. How could you?" The old monk paused for a moment, then smiled. His face glowed in the dim firelight. He said gently, "My dear disciple, I carried the girl only once, across the stream, and then I let her go. But you, my son, you are still carrying her." The disciple fell silent, and in that silence, he finally understood. The old monk continued, "Rules and vows are meant to guide your heart, not imprison your mind. True purity isn't about avoiding life, it's about being untouched within, no matter what life brings." He looked at his disciple and said, "The moment you hold on to judgment, anger, or fear, you are the one carrying the burden. To be truly free, you must learn to let go." The disciple bowed deeply, tears welling in his eyes. The lesson had finally reached his soul. That night, the young monk slept peacefully for the first time in weeks. And perhaps, so can you, once you stop carrying the weight of things long gone. Sometimes, peace isn't about changing the world around you. It's about letting go what you no longer need. If this story touched your heart, take a second to pause and reflect. What burden are you still carrying today? And before you go, don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on the bell icon. Every day, we share stories and ancient wisdom that can help you live lighter, think deeper, and walk your own path with peace. Stay calm, stay kind, and remember, let go of what you've already crossed. Thank you for watching.